Thank you for joining me. My name is Regina. Today's video is quite short, as you can see from the title, 6-minute plank. All we're doing today is plank, and we're holding it for an extended period of time. Plank pose, as you likely know, is one of the most effective poses for addressing and strengthening all of the core muscles of the body. So I like this particular practice of plank, this extended plank, for a really solid core workout, particularly if you're pressed for time, if you don't have a lot of time, but you know that you need a little bit of strengthening or workout. So 6 minutes, not very long, you can fit it into your day. You don't need any special equipment at all. And because this is the approach here for 6-minute plank is not really holding just one type of plank for 6 minutes, but varying it from forearm plank, straight arm plank, side plank, varying those different plank positions breaks up the monotony of holding plank pose for as long as we'll be holding it, so I think that is effective. It also is a little bit easier, I think, on the body to switch from one position to the other. I think you'll feel that as we go forward. I would build up to this. If you don't typically practice plank, if you maybe are new to this, build up to it. So while I'm going to hold the poses for a minute each, do what you can, and know that this would be something that you would be working on, a process. So if you want to do each of the poses that I'm moving in and out of for 15 seconds or 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever you want, then do that. But keep track of where you're at as you progress along, so that you can see that you're getting stronger. Challenge yourself. Any type of practice requires breath and awareness. So turn the TV off, turn your phone off so that you're not distracted, and take your time. Really paying attention to your form, good form, always. I'm a big stickler for that, as you should be. You want to keep your body safe in whatever your movements are, and breath. So if you practice yoga, you know about breathing through the nose, and if you don't practice yoga, I'm going to recommend do your best to pay attention to how you're breathing. Breathe well. Breathe through your nose if you can. Relax your tongue. These are things I'll say as we move forward, but relax your tongue. If your tongue is quiet, like a wet leaf at the bottom of your mouth, it immediately softens the throat, and it improves how you're breathing in and out of the body, how you're drawing breath in and how you're breathing it out. Additionally, the breath helps to calm the nervous system. So when your mind starts to say, no, I've had enough, I don't want to do this, I'm fatiguing, I hate this, which it may say all of that, come back to your breath as your support. Let it be what holds you up, what buoys you. It does make a difference. It calms the nervous system, and that's a big deal. So we're going to go forward. I have my watch. I'm going to keep an eye on my second hand, and we'll get going. So get on into position. We'll come onto hands and knees. I would like you to align your wrist to your shoulders, spread your fingers really wide, have them wide, and step back your feet into plank position. Fingers are spread wide. Use all of your hands. Lower your hips, and then we'll begin here. I've aligned my shoulders above my wrists. I have my fingers spread wide. I'm reaching through the crown of my head, and at the same time, I'm driving back through the heels. So I want you to imagine I have my hands on your heels, and you don't want them there, and you're pushing back into my hands. Press back through your heels, and when you do that, then lift up your thigh bones, not your hips, but the thigh bones. Engage your quads. Keep the quadricep muscles, the thigh muscles, really strong. Now hug up your belly, so the core muscles all engaged. It's not just the shoulders that are doing the work here. You want to avoid dropping your head. Keep your head reaching forward. Relax your face, and breathe your breath through the nose. When you're on your hands, it may feel like you're putting a lot of weight on the heel of your hand. Press your fingers into your space, into your floor, and into your mat. Press your fingertips as well, so you're using all of the hand, and spread your fingers wide. That's a minute already in straight arm plank. We're going to come now to forearm plank. Come down to your forearms. You can interlace your fingers or keep your hands separated. Press back through the heels. Lift up your belly. You're going to shake. I'm already shaking, and I do this pretty often, so it's not unusual to shake. Breathe well. Reaching back through the heels, that action is ongoing again. Consider the opposing actions. As you're pushing back through the heels, you're also extending your line forward, so reaching through the crown of your head. So again, avoid dropping your head. Breathe. We want to avoid letting the hips drop. I'm exaggerating that, but careful of that. Keep the hips lifting, draw up your belly. If you drop the hips, it's hard on the shoulders, it's hard on the back. So I'd like you to try to keep the legs really straight here throughout. And breathe, and always coming back to your breathing. Try not to drift away somewhere else. Keep your attention on what you're doing. We're almost done here. We're going to change this to side arm plank. When I come to side arm plank, I'm on my hands and stacking my shoulder above my hand. I'm stacking my legs. I'm taking the other hand to the ceiling. I want to recommend a couple of things. If this is hard for you to have both legs straight, take that top foot and make a kickstand of the leg. I don't want you to lean too much into it, but use it for balance. In either case, whether your legs are stacked or not, engage your legs just like you've been doing. So tighten up your thighs. Flex your feet a lot so the ankles are very stable. Spread your toes, whether you have that kickstand leg or your legs are stacked. You want to keep the feet really flexed. Feel your stacking order. I have to look at the clock because it feels like a long time. Feel your stacking order. You want ear over ear, shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip. You want to keep that flat line. Imagine there's a piece of fabric in front of you and one behind you, and you're trying not to touch into it. So you don't want your hips to go back or your head to go forward too much. Coming to the other side, shift it over. So now side plank with the other arm supporting. You see what I mean maybe about this breaking up the work. We're still engaging the core muscles, but we give one arm a break here. And so as you're holding here, we're keeping the feet strongly flexed. We try to avoid dropping the head. Try also to avoid letting your hips sway down again. Lift your hips. Imagine I've got a string attached to your hip, and then pulling you up. Lift them up. If you want to take that arm over your head, rather to the ceiling over your head, reach it forward. Take that option. Remember again, take that kickstand leg if you prefer. Breathe. Slow down your breath. Feel it. It might be shortening now, so you want to make sure the breath is slow down, smooth, through the nose. Almost there. From here, back to forearm. Come on to your forearms. Back to our forearms. From here, I'm going to lift one leg for 30 seconds. You don't have to do this. And now the other leg for 30 seconds. Squeeze your belly and breathe. Try not to drop your head. Try not to drop your hips. You see that we're already 5 minutes, almost 5 minutes into this. Well done. Ten seconds. Press back through your heel. Now back, final minute, straight arm plank. Aligning your shoulders to your wrists. Press your heels back. Breathe. Relax the inside of your mouth. When I said that about dropping your tongue like a wet leaf, move your tongue out of the way. Hear your breath through your nose. Feel your breath at the back of your throat. Slow it down, smooth it out. You guys are awesome. 30 seconds to go. And done. Take your knees down, rest. That's it. Short and sweet. So, I'm winded. I'm out of breath. It's a good workout. I would say after you're done, take an easy stretch of the arms. Lift them up. Come like I often do in class. And if you've taken my class, just an easy side to side. I would also work your shoulders. So leaning into one hand, circle your arm a couple of times around in each direction. think that's just a good break for the shoulders. So the other side, same thing, circle it around like you're moving your arm through water, and it should feel pretty good to do that. Go in both directions. And then release. Lastly, as I often do, we'll stretch the hands and release your fingers, palms forward, push straight away. And as you're pushing your hands forward, pull the fingers back unless it hurts. Round your back a little bit, reach your back to the wall behind you, press your hands forward. And then angle your arms down towards the floor a couple of inches. Come up tall. And release. We are finished. I thank you so very much for coming and joining me. I hope this is useful to you. And be well, be safe, be peaceful. Thank you.